CCTV Camera World is proud to provide support for products purchased from our website. If you purchased your product from another vendor, please contact the vendor you purchased from for further assistance.
In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use the AvaEye remote viewing app to live view your cameras. So I'm going to show an overview of some of the settings and features offered by the app and how to access those features. So first, when you open the app, it's going to show you a live view of your cameras, whether it's the first channel or it might bring up a grid with several options. But if it only brings up one camera, the way to see the other cameras is to tap the Images button in the middle of the app. And when you do that, it's going to bring up some grid screen options here. So if you tap 4, it's going to pull up 4 of the cameras. I only have 3 cameras connected to my NVR, so you're only seeing those 3. If you tapped 6, then you would see 6 cameras, 9, 12, and last but not least, 16. So 16 is the maximum number of cameras you can view using the app at one time. But I'm going to go back to the 4 camera grid view so I can see my 3 cameras that I have connected to my system. If I wanted to bring these cameras or one camera into full screen, then I would need to rotate my phone, and that will bring it into landscape mode and bring the grid screen into this view, which is full screen. If I wanted to bring one of these cameras into full screen after putting my camera in landscape mode, I would need to double tap on that camera and it would bring it up in full screen. I can double tap it again to go back to the 4 camera grid view again. I'm going to flip my phone back over to portrait mode to run through the rest of the settings. So the next important setting is going to be the quality. So that's next to images on the right hand side, and you'll notice it says SD. And then on each of the cameras, you'll also see that it says medium. So what this is doing is it's using a medium stream rather than a high definition stream to save data on the app. It's very useful if you're on a limited data plan or if you just don't want your system using a whole lot of data while you are viewing it. So I'm going to tap on quality, and then I could choose high if I wanted to kind of make the main stream, which is the full resolution stream. You'll notice it's now using around 5 megabits per second. That's quite a bit of data. And then I could go down to low if I had a really slow internet connection at my home, or if I had a really bad reception, I could go down to low. But I'm going to leave mine on medium and view my camera using the medium stream. So the next thing to show is the snapshot and record buttons. Those are to the left-hand side of the image and quality buttons that I just showed you. So the snapshot button, what that's going to do is save a snapshot directly to my iPhone for later review. I could have tapped the view button on the right-hand side to actually view that snapshot after I took it. And it's going to use the snapshot from the camera you have selected. So you'll notice there's a small yellow border around the camera that I have selected. So if I wanted to take a snapshot from channel 3, I would need to tap that and then tap the snapshot button, and it would get a snapshot from channel 3. Same with the record button. You want to first select the channel and then tap the record button, and it's going to start recording the camera onto your iPhone. It's not doing any recording on your system. It's actually recording it on your iPhone, and then you would tap record again. And like I said, for the snapshot, I could tap the view button to review that now or review it at a later date. So another thing to notice is the audio icon at the bottom left-hand side. If my cameras had audio, I would first need to tap on that camera and then tap on the audio icon to listen to the audio from the camera. Then I would tap again to disable the speaker. Next but not least, in the same avenue as audio, on the right hand side we have two-way audio. This would work if your camera has a microphone and a speaker. You would tap that. It would ask for access to your microphone. If you're on an iPhone or Android, it should ask you the same thing. And then you would of course want to tap OK to allow the app to use your microphone. None of the cameras that I have connected to my system support two-way audio, but I would tap that and then be able to use the two-way audio function from my camera. So now to get into the more advanced features of the app, we have the device config option at the bottom left-hand side. So I'm going to tap device config, and in here I can adjust the image settings, the audio settings, I can change the device name, And then I can go into some more of the motion detection settings and smart detection settings if I wanted to set those up, as well as a recording schedule. However, this video is going to focus more on the live viewing aspect of the system rather than the configuration aspect. So I'm going to tap on the left arrow at the top left-hand side to get back to my live view screen. Next would be image settings, and these aren't as consequential as the config settings, and you could adjust those accordingly if you needed to for your scenario. So brightness, of course, would increase or reduce the brightness. Saturation would increase or reduce the amount of color in your image. Contrast would change the white balance of your image. Sharpness would be how sharp the pixels look on the image. And then last but not least, 2D NR stands for two-dimensional noise reduction. That is really only useful at nighttime to adjust that setting. So I'm going to go ahead and tap close. You could also reset those settings at the bottom right hand side. If you don't like the settings that you've set, you just tap reset, ask you if you want to reset those, and then I'm going to tap close to get out of the image settings. So next would be PTZ. So I'm going to tap out and get back to my 4 camera grid view, and I know that channel 2 on my system is a PTZ camera. So when I tap on it, PTZ lights up and I can tap on PTZ. But first I want to bring my camera into the full grid view here. And then I tap on PTZ. And you'll notice on the camera image now I have arrows, directions, and these would correspond with the direction that I want my PTZ to go. So if I wanted my PTZ to go left, I would of course tap on the left arrows. If I wanted to go back to the right, I would tap on the right arrows. So you have those coordinates and cardinal directions, and each one of them work on the PTZ. So you can play around and move your PTZ using the AvaEye app. So next is the zoom of the PTZ. It'd be pan, tilt, and then zoom. So I'm going to tap zoom. Here I have a neat little menu to plus out. So plus would be to zoom in. And then the negative sign would be to zoom out. And my camera has autofocus, so I don't necessarily need to worry about focus, but you would tap out of zoom and then tap into focus if you needed to adjust the focus for your pan, tilt, zoom camera. You could also add a preset by tapping the add a preset button, and then it added a preset called preset 1. So if I went ahead and moved my camera to the left and then went into manage presets and then tapped preset 1 and then tapped to go to preset, it's going to tell my camera to go back to the preset 1 that I just configured in the app. To get out of the PTZ controls, you would just need to tap back on the PTZ button in the center. Last but not least, there would be the alarm output button. Now this only works if you do have alarm outputs or sirens connected to your system. I don't have any alarm outputs, but this would allow you to manually activate those alarm outputs if you see somebody in front of your camera or if you just want to scare off somebody. So I'm going to close out of that menu, and then you can tap the close all button, and what that is going to do is close out of all those channels. You could tap the resume button or tap the plus icon, open up your NVR, and then bring a camera back into the grid view. Hopefully this video gives you a good overview of how to live view your AvaEye NVR in cameras using the AvaEye app. Thank you for watching.
If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.